There's nothing like a good scream to get the adrenaline going. Horror films are fun, and you're about to learn about some of the best horror films ever made. In 1975, director Steven Spielberg released Jaws, one of the most terrifying films ever released. Jaws grossed over $260 million and went on to win 3 Academy Awards, one of those for Best Editing. In 1978, John Carpenter's Halloween brought us the slasher and the birth of Michael Myers. Halloween was produced on a budget of $300,000 and grossed $47 million at the box office. This was the first in a lucrative franchise that spawned other holiday films, such as Friday the 13th, My Bloody Valentine, and April Fool's Day. Commentary by Chad Shimp.
I am actually quite inspired by Halloween. I do think I don't know if it's the birth of the slasher, but I think that obviously many of the horror films to come, draw heavily on influences from it. I mean, obviously it spans, I believe at least either 10 remakes or redos.
Did you know that a young boy drowned the year before those 2 others were killed? The counselors weren't paying any attention. They were making love while that young boy drowned.
If terror is what you're looking for, then Friday the 13th is the film for you. Friday the 13th grossed over $39 million at the box office in the United States. Negative reviews and the ratings board couldn't stop the terror phenomenon. This franchise has spawned 11 films with 1 in production right now.
Well, Hitchcock was absolutely the master of being able to take every single film he did. I don't know that I would characterize it as more as probably characterized Psycho as a horror film. The times then, you weren't really able to get away with nearly as much, but I think it must have been, to the audience in that day, quite a shocking film.
The master of horror and suspense Alfred Hitchcock released Psycho in 1960. The film was so successful that it was reissued in theaters in 1965. This psychological thriller was way ahead of its time and opened the door for a sexy thriller. In 1980, director Brian De Palma released Dressed to Kill, a very scary, sexy thriller that played homage to Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. The film went on to earn $31 million or scares. Look for the elevator scene. Poltergeist, a supernatural horror thriller directed by Tobe Hooper of Texas Chainsaw fame, was the 8th highest grossing film of 1982, nominated for 3 Academy Awards and grossed over 121 million scares.
You're probably wondering where you are. I'll tell you where you might be. You might be in the room.
Saw, 2004, a psychological horror suspense film. James Wan's directorial debut terrified audiences with its low budget. Saw performed very well at the box office, grossing more than $100 million worldwide, spawning the Saw franchise with 8 films to date.
You're looking for me.
What's the fucking move?
Yeah, I think that's a film where there's a great impact and a surprise twist at the ending, and a strong villain, but also, the main character who's a police officer, I believe, who's on the trail of the murderer, and that is definitely a story where there's a great payoff at the end. You don't know exactly how they're going to end it, but as the story's following him, I think that's a good example of, like a thriller with horror.
In 1995, director David Finch brought us the psychological terror of Seven. This $33 million budget movie put the fear of the 7 deadly sins in us. This big-budget horror thriller scared out $327 million at the box office. And that's where we'll see you, at the box office. Happy horror!